Hello and welcome to ShadowCast with your host Thomas Anderson and Tech Wizard Abigail Movid.
Tech Wizard, yes, even though Tommy's doing the editing for the foreseeable future.
Okay. That was weird.
I've just gotten a sudden burst of energy. My dinner has hit me now.
Which normally, considering it was Indian, normally doesn't mean a good thing.
Oh. I don't have that reaction. I did have a massive glass like this, I'm showing Tommy, of diluted juice. Maybe it was a bit too strong. Maybe I'm on a sugar high.
You get diluted juice with sugar in it?
I don't know. It's just diluting juice.
No, we get diluted juice non-sugar.
I don't know what we get. Somebody buys it. I put it in my drink.
Okay, it's diluting cocaine you've got. Do you think that's what you're supposed to do with cocaine, but people who snort it are just not doing it properly? Do you think maybe you're supposed to water it down? Like those old compounds that you could mix with water and they would make the juice. Can you stop dancing like you're in the 60s, please?
I don't know what's happened. I've started, you know, I said before we started recording this, I was saying to Tommy, I was like, I feel a little shaky. I don't know if it's just because maybe I've had too much food or something like that, because that sometimes happens. But I just feel like super hyper at the moment.
Can you stop dancing?
Never.
I think you said never, but it didn't pick it up.
Never.
Right. Neverine.
I would just like to say that last week I was asked to repeat something because apparently it didn't pick it up. Yes, it did pick it up. Well, not last week, the week before.
Right, well...
Last time I edited.
In fairness to me, if I don't hear it, if it didn't pick up enough for me to hear it, I can't respond. So now she's mouthing things at me down the mic. And I don't know if she's just muted her own mic and started mouthing at me, or if she's actually broken and she's not there. I don't know.
No, I'm here. I am here.
Right, okay.
My phone's come up with a notification. Sorry, I had to get rid of it.
Right. So, what have you been playing?
I have been playing more Star Trek Online because I have been binge watching Next Generation and now I am obsessed. Thank you. Because last year I tried to watch the original series with William Shatner and Leonard Nimoy, but I only got like about 7 or 8 episodes in and I got a bit bored of it because it became...
To be honest, if I'm being ruthless, there's only 7 or 8 episodes I would say you probably need to watch of the Next Generation of the original series to really like the real great episodes.
Like, I kind of lost my attention when Evil Kirk, the only way to tell them apart was the fact that Evil Kirk had eyeliner.
Do you not know that that's where that whole joke comes from? Give them a beard and that's what makes them evil.
He didn't have a beard, though.
I'm pretty certain that the
one I'm talking about didn't.
What about the Spock?
Oh, I've not got that episode yet. I never watched that.
There's one then where they go into the mirror universe.
Yeah.
And that comes up, by the way. The mirror universe comes up in other series, but I don't know if it comes up in the Next Generation. I genuinely can't remember.
Don't know, but it came up in the game.
Right. And the way in the original series that they told the difference between the Federation and the Terran Empire was that, Terran Empire is full of evil people, but they were all wearing knives. The pin is different. It's not the Federation. It's a sword through the earth.
Yeah.
And the it's all very fascistic, really.
Yeah.
And the other thing is that they gave all the bad guys beards, goatees. They've all got goatees, and that's how you tell the difference at first glance between like evil Spock and not evil.
Is that Spock, why you've grown one?
Yeah, I'm evil Tommy. I killed actual Tommy. He's under the bed. So what have you been doing on Star Trek Online, and what have you been watching on Star Trek Next Generation?
On Star Trek Online, well, we redid a mission, but I'm trying to...
The very first one.
Yeah, well, I'm also doing many costume changes.
Yeah, every time I go on to play with you now, you've got different hair and you've got different
Yeah,
uniform.
because I know how to do it now, so it's more fun. Oh, and also I played a game of hide and seek with Tommy in the
Yeah.
game. You beamed in after me, and I said, right, you need to find me, and you spent quite a while like going a bit crazy because I kept popping up on the map, but you couldn't find me. And where was
Yeah.
I?
You had climbed up one of the support struts and hid in the rafters at the top.
That was
I'm
so.
glad you weren't wearing one of the uniforms from the 60s
Why?
because the women all had to wear skirts. So I'd have been, oh no.
That's one thing I've noticed about the next gen is that you see guys in skirt, like guys in like the tunics.
In fairness, that disappears very quickly.
I only saw two, and I've not seen any more since.
No, they don't come back. They've got the guys wearing
Trousers.
legs.
Yeah.
Like that's the one. They're not wearing legs. They're wearing trousers. And the women can pick between them, but they normally wear the trousers as well.
Yeah. I thought that was very progressive for because it was the late 80s the show
It's the
started.
late 80s, but the point was that it made no sense. I mean, functionally, it makes no sense to wear something like that because it's supposed to be a temperature-controlled environment, and the suit
Supposed
is
to.
supposed
It's
to be,
supposed to.
and the suit is supposed to be a highly advanced piece of technology. It's not just supposed to
Yeah,
be.
do you know what? I don't think I would like to be on the Enterprise.
Why?
You seen their bedrooms? Their bedrooms look so uncomfortable. The beds look so uncomfortable. Like, I get like this whole, oh, it's like space fabric. It's like super efficient and does blah 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 blah. I
No,
like
no,
a
that's
duvet. I like a
no.
duvet.
That's the point. That's because it's an American program.
Oh yeah, they don't have duvets.
They don't really do the duvet
They
thing.
got like quilt things,
Yeah,
or like was it a comforter? Like
yeah.
what we call a duvet, they call it a comforter.
That word is not supposed to be said. A comforter.
A comforter.
It's trying to. It's
I
trying to
also don't. I
defeat
don't say
you.
duvet.
What do you say?
I say downy
Yeah, but you.
because
I was.
it's got
You might know.
that they originally would have been laid with feather down. That's what we've always called it.
Yes, but it's not. It's now a duvet. It uses the TOG system because it's manufactured and not plucked.
I know, but that's what I still call it.
You know, see, the next time your duvet or your downy stabs you, it's a downy. But see if it doesn't, it's a duvet. All right.
I like my duvet. It's thick for winter.
I have 3 duvets.
Yeah, because you're special. Because you like to sleep on one, don't you?
No, I sleep on 2. Old duvets that don't really work anymore. I put them on top of the bed mattress to save the bed mattress to stop it wearing through, and to give me something soft to sleep on.
Mine already has something like that. My mattress, because my mattress, you don't need to flip it. You just turn it. Because the mattress has an inbuilt, like, squishy layer.
Mine doesn't because it's supposed to be memory foam.
Oh, no, I don't. As soon as I saw memory foam, I'm like, no, that's not for me. Because I like a good level of firmness when I go to sleep. I don't like to sink in. I like to slightly sink in. I don't like to sink in.
Right. 'Kay, my problem is that I'll happily fall asleep on a hard wooden floor.
Oh, same
So
here.
it's like people trying to like train me so that I use a bed.
Well, I've slept on hard floors before. I'll happily fall asleep on a hard floor. Both me and my sister used to do that as kids. We would just like in the lounge and we'd just be asleep on the floor.
No, as an adult.
No, we still do it. I can still happily lie. I've lain on the floor in the lounge, and just like fallen asleep.
Yeah, right. Can I just point out you have carpet, don't you?
Yeah,
Right.
but that's not. But I've also done that in my bedroom, and my bedroom's got carpet, but it's like proper hard carpet. It's not really carpet. It's more a floor than carpet, if that makes any sense. There's no squishiness to it whatsoever. It is solid.
I fell asleep in the conservatory floor.
But that would be a nice floor to fall asleep on. I feel like
Tile.
yeah, because it get nice and warm, and you can just go sleep like a little cat.
No. It's tiles.
Yeah, yeah,
It's 6 meters by 5 meters, or 5.5 by 5 meters. It's something like that.
yeah,
And it's got one radiator in it.
yeah.
So it's freezing cold. It's a tiled
Not on a
floor.
nice, warm, sunny day.
Early in my 20s, I remember. I think I was 22. I crawled up underneath a dining table and went to sleep. And my cousin's little 2-year-old found me.
Yeah.
So she went away and she got a blanket and a teddy bear.
Oh.
And she crawled underneath and she crawled into the gap between my chest and my arms because I was on my side with my arm there.
Yeah.
So I like draped in front of me, but not on me, just in front of me. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
And she crawled up into that gap and then she put the blanket over us and then she hugged the
Aw.
teddy bear. So she was doing to the teddy bear what I was doing to her. And then I fell asleep.
Oh,
And she
that's
fell.
cute.
Well, I was already asleep, I think, but I was already asleep. I think she then went to sleep.
Oh, that's cute.
We were down there for like 2.5 hours or an hour or something. I don't know. I was asleep. I can't remember.
That's a lot cuter than me falling asleep while my spaceship was going in circles.
Yeah, that was funny. But for some reason, my girlfriend at the time didn't come and look for me.
She's like, peace and quiet.
She's just like, she's in a house with my auntie. She doesn't know anybody else that's there because my parents hadn't gone to this, neither had my brother. And she didn't, the one person she knew, she didn't go looking for.
Unless she found you and you were asleep. And she's like, I can't be bothered waking him up. He looks too cute. With his little cousin just like sleeping there with a little teddy bear.
I think she didn't go looking for me because I think that it would have taken a level of, what's that word?
Effort? Initiative?
Impetus. Yes, that's sort of like, oh, let's go and do this. That's why. So I was just left there sleeping.
This has taken a really weird change from Star Trek.
But that's what they do all the time in Star Trek. You'll find them sleeping with teddy bears. And... No, I agree with you. I don't like I would have a duvet. And I don't like the fact that the rooms are so open plan.
Yeah, no, I hate...
Kind of maybe want my room to have a door before you can see the bed.
Yeah, I've got this thing about like, I see open plan living areas and I'm like, okay, that's okay for some, but I'm one of these people that like houses with like nooks and crannies and like doors and corridors because I feel like it's bigger that way.
Yeah, but there's also the fact that the bathroom doesn't have a door on it.
Yeah, that I've seen that in real life. That freaks me out.
But how does it see if you've got a couple of people round to dinner in your quarters?
Yeah.
Nobody can go for a pish.
No.
And if you are in your quarters and you go to the bathroom and you make a bad smell and then somebody knocks the door, computer, activate the extractor fans. Computer, open the windows. Computer, something.
One of my cousins bought a house, right? And we went to go see it. And we're like, oh, it's absolutely beautiful. But there's one question we have because it was an old house. Well, like relatively old. And the people that had redesigned the bathroom had designed the toilet to face out the window. Which was exact same height from the floor upwards that you would be sitting on the toilet. So you could sit and look out over the countryside. And I was just like, well, I mean, there's nobody out there, but I wouldn't feel comfortable.
Could you imagine if you did that, but the window was like built into the wall, and then the wall came out to you like a shelf, and you could lean on it,
Yeah.
so you knew nobody could see what was happening below the abdomen line,
Yeah.
because you were like leaning on the cover. But it would be lovely, I'm sure, just to spend, however long you spend doing something you have to do, not a choice. Just going, oh, this looks lovely, this is brilliant, I'm just looking out about. But could you imagine if you were having a bad day and somebody did look in? And normally you could just go, yep, you'll eventually notice something. Just hold up a sign that says, I'm doing a poo. But eventually one day you'll be like, look at it.
Well, here's the thing.
End up being made of sand.
Here's the thing, right? I'm the only one privileged enough to be witnessing your facial expressions at the moment. So now whatever. That'll be what I picture. I will have nightmares tonight. Full on nightmares. Thank you.
Just the sweat pouring off
Oh,
you. Oh God, save me! You're just screaming for help as people walk by the house, holding up signs, throwing flares out the window. Help me!
but
Help me!
that is genuine. Thank you so much for that mental image.
Say, won't
Right, I'm
you
gonna
help me?
change the direction of this conversation.
But have you noticed the dissimilarity between Star Trek and Star Trek Online? What do you do? What are we doing now that you don't necessarily do when you're playing Star Trek Online?
Talk to you.
Yeah, you don't really talk to solve the problems. You just shoot everybody or blow stuff up in space.
Yeah.
Or in the case of us, get blown up until we realize that we can call in people with beacons.
I've
And then,
decided.
yeah,
I've decided who my favorite character is.
go.
Can you guess?
Data.
Yes. I just like him because I think he's really funny. Riker annoys me.
Hmm. They grow on you. They take a bit of time, but they get there.
Riker made an omelette. It wasn't an omelette. It severely annoyed me. He's like, I'm going to make my famous omelets. That's scrambled egg.
Yeah, it was scrambled egg. Yeah, it was scrambled egg. Who's your least favorite character? This should be an easy one.
The Doctor.
Dr.
Pulaski.
Pulaski. Yeah, Pulaski. Yeah,
I
don't
think
like
it's
her
just
either.
because she was new compared to the rest. Because I'm only on series 2 at the moment.
Hmm.
But yeah, I like Data because I think he's just funny. I like the idea
Yeah.
of somebody trying to be human, look so much being human, but not fully understanding what it is to be human.
Yeah, I like the actor LeVar Burton who did
Beverly?
Geordie LaForge.
Oh.
No, that's Gates McFadden. LeVar Burton did Geordie LaForge, and one of the things he always said about actors is a lot of the acting is done with the eyes.
Yeah.
And the first thing they did in his big break was take his eyes off him. They gave him a visor that covers up his eyes, which is why he has to act with his body so much.
Yeah.
Which is why you'll see him like slapping his hands a lot or running around because he's trying to demonstrate
Compensate
emotion.
for it. Yeah.
Yeah, he's trying to demonstrate emotion when he doesn't have eyes.
They had a similar thing with I remember them talking about Bambi. You know the movie Bambi. A lot of the animators were saying that when they go to animate characters, they try and make like their hands, you know, like their body language and everything like that. That conveys more emotion sometimes with the hands and things like that. And when they found out that they had to take away those things because obviously it's about a deer. Deer do not have hands. That's when they had to learn how to make the eyes more dramatic, more emotionally driven.
So he was trying to work out how would a blind man who doesn't have the capacity to relay feeling with his eyes relay feeling. Because obviously you would, as a blind, if you couldn't do it with your eyes, you wouldn't just not do it. You would find a different way to do it.
Should we just call this the Star Trek episode?
No. Space hike. Right.
But yeah,
So,
we played a mission.
yeah, and we've as I said, we used the beacons to call in backup because as last week we were complaining we kept getting blown up, so this was our solution.
Yeah.
Called in backup and it worked fine.
Yeah. And also I've updated the mines on my ship, so we shall see how they work.
I saw that, I think.
No, you didn't. Well, I updated them last night for the game last night.
Yeah, I saw those ones, yeah.
Yeah.
They seemed quite powerful. I've not been given anything useful, so.
And I kept trying to give you
update.
stuff. I kept trying to give you stuff, but it wouldn't let me.
Yeah, I don't know why it's doing that.
Neither do I.
It's very upsetting. What have I been doing?
Yeah, what have you been doing?
Played a bit of Assassin's Creed Syndicate, but meh.
Learning to deal with your long hair.
And my evil goatee.
I suggested to Tommy to buy some mustache wax.
But it's fine because I've got ears.
I'm gonna start buying you beard products.
No, I'll save this off soon. Might trim it down in size because it's going in my mouth.
Should trim the mustache bit. I said he should
Right.
dye it. Like
Well, thanks very much.
like
not that fat.
purple like Billy Connolly.
I'm not that fat.
I know you're not. You're skinny twig.
That was a joke. You said I should diet?
Yes, I am not that dumb.
Oh,
Have you seen
your
have you
lack of
seen
laughter
the
indicates
monkey
otherwise.
tail mustache? The monkey tail goatee thing.
No.
Where it's effectively it's so you have like think a goatee and then they shave off this part of the goatee and then they shave off this part of the beard. So it looks like a monkey's tail. Starts here and then it goes all the way around.
Right. No, thank you. What actually did happen with me was that I tried to play, I did a master's assignment for uni, and then I tried to play video games on my computer, and they didn't work.
Yes,
Remember
I
I told you
remember.
about this?
Yes.
Yeah. It was just running at like 3 frames a second.
Yeah.
So I did 100 billion different things. I moved everything around and shut down my OneDrive sync because it's something I didn't use anyway, but I thought all the corrupt files that were being found in there.
Yeah.
So I did it, and then anyway, it still didn't fix it. So what I did, it was weird because Star Wars wouldn't run, and any game I had installed on Steam wouldn't run, but any game that I had on disk or that wasn't previously installed on Steam, but I then installed after the error appeared, would run as well. That was all fine. But any game which was installed on Steam beforehand wouldn't run properly.
Yeah.
So I uninstalled Steam. I tried originally moving some files around. I actually tried deleting. Well, I moved the save file for Medieval 2 out of the area and copied it onto my desktop. And I thought maybe if it's a corrupt save file, it'll run fine now. And maybe I can just find one which isn't corrupt and go from there. But it didn't run without the saves then. So I thought, right, well, it's just busted then. So I uninstalled the Steam client and reinstalled it.
Yeah.
And it still didn't fix it. Even with no save files in Medieval 2, it was still running really slow. So what I did was I looked up online, and apparently this can happen if your drivers aren't updated, if you don't have all the updates.
Yeah.
So what I did was I looked on the settings for my PC and activated that there was an update sitting there that wasn't installed for some reason. It usually does it automatically, or at least tells me it's there,
Yeah.
but it didn't tell me. So I started doing that, doing these installs, and then about an hour later I tried to play something on Steam and it ran fine. So but what threw me in the middle of that was that I said that Star Wars wasn't working.
Yeah.
I uninstalled and reinstalled Star Wars, the Old Republic client, and it ran fine-ish after I did that, but not perfect, but fine-ish. So I think it was still a driver problem because I fixed it now. But I got thrown by that, so I thought I had to delete all the save files. Anyway, what basically happened is that everything's back to the way it was, and the only thing that I lost was the save files for Medieval 2.
Which is kind of rubbish because I know you had done so much work on that.
Yeah, 250 turns.
Jeez.
So that's upsetting.
Could have been worse.
Well, not really, because if I had just been told by my computer, as I'm supposed to be, that there was an update to install, I'd have done it, and it would have ran fine. Also, if Steam had been a bit more, I think if Steam had just been a bit more helpful and said, look, if you've got a Windows 10, go here, here, and here and check to see if there's any updates that need doing.
Yeah.
That would have fixed it straight away. But they didn't. They were just like, oh, well, this has got nothing to do with us. Steam's the only thing that won't work. You must have come across this before. And later on, they said, oh, you might want to check there's nothing in the background you want to install. But it was very wishy-washy. Just come back and say, look, double check this for me and see if there's anything to update. I just think it was very poor from Steam to be that wishy-washy, because it felt like they were washing their hands of the problem rather than giving me the right advice.
Yeah.
So it was just, I was very unimpressed with that.
Oh dear.
Yeah. I mean, eventually I fixed it, and I thought I don't hold the problem happening against Steam because it wasn't Steam's fault. And even if they hadn't come up with a way to fix it, I wouldn't have held it against them. But they clearly know that's what you're supposed to do because they kept hinting at it without really telling me.
Yeah.
So that's what really upset me there. Just tell me.
Sorry.
So yeah, I managed to get that fixed so that I can now play computer games again, which I'm looking forward to doing.
Yay!
Shall we move on to the stories?
I shall move on to the stories. Yes.
Go ahead.
Give me a second. I'm blinded. Oh. I haven't looked at the game thing. I'm just looking at the agenda. I promise.
That's fine. On you go.
So we all know that the launch of Cyberpunk 2077 by CD Projekt Red was pretty lackluster, with a fair few bugs. But many players were pretty understanding with it, and they were actually willing to wait for patches to be released to update the game to make it more playable. And some even accepted the total refund that CD Projekt Red were offering for the game because people just couldn't play it.
Yeah, some people who were very happy to accept the refund and then complained about, well, hold on, I've accepted the refund. Why have you taken the game off me? Because they thought the refund was some sort of compensation, but they get to keep the game.
The screen on my phone just froze in a really weird position. So your teeth looked super white, but your eyes looked black. So you looked like a demon for about 10 seconds. Not even like that. It was just like that. But your teeth were super white and your eyes were black. It was really creepy.
It's a normal face, but I suddenly flashed into my demon form.
Yeah. So some developers who worked on Cyberpunk on Cyberpunk 2077 have now come out and said that they were actually confused when they announced that the game was going to be released in December 2020 and felt that the game would not be fully ready till 2022. Some developers talked about how the crunch not only affected them but also affected their families. And for the next few months, it looks like they are going to be grafting hard to fix the problems with Cyberpunk 2077. Problems that were potentially detected before the game was released, or even at least the game wasn't tested thoroughly enough to detect if there were actually any bugs.
Yeah.
Some developers, I think about 20 developers came forward and said, listen, this was the situation, but they wanted to be kept anonymous in case it ruined their careers.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm very confused by that, actually, because there was no need for them. They could have just come out and said, look, coronavirus has absolutely chundered us.
Yeah.
We're just going to have to wait a couple of years because we can't move at the speed we were moving at before.
No, because originally when they were going to be releasing it in April, the developers said, no, that is not possible at all, because it will not fully not be playable in April. And then they moved it back to November. Well, they moved it forward to November, and then they moved it forward to December. But even then, they were saying it's not right. We don't want it released yet, but the powers that be decided no, it had to be released then and there.
You see, I'm not sure about that. I think the decision to release in December 2020, I think what we're talking about there is that they were, that was either something decided around about the original release of April, or maybe later on when it was due to be released, like October, November. So they have done some of that work. I think that if they crunched all the way from March, you could probably argue it's only 6 months away. But
even then, they were saying that we don't want it released yet because it's not good enough. It's not playable.
And they can't crunch for that length of time.
13 plus hours a day. Some people were saying that they lost their families over it. Like divorces and things like that, I think, happened. From the sounds of it. Or breakups. But yeah. So it's not looking too good. Because the co-founder one of the co-founders has come out and apologized now twice. He released a 5-minute long video apologizing.
Yeah. It's difficult to know, really, because it's all about employees' rights, isn't it? Workers' rights.
Yeah.
How much can you actually force them to crunch in a country that would be in the EU?
I've crashed.
Yeah, have your sugars disappeared? I'm trying to think. I'm not sure. I'd like to hear more about that family thing, actually, because I'd suspect that would be more about parents and siblings than partners, because a partner would be able to see that you were being put through that.
Quite possibly. It just said families.
Yeah. Or maybe their kids don't like talking to them anymore or something. I don't know. But yeah, I don't know. Because I just think when you got to that point, you would walk, wouldn't you?
No, if you can't afford to, then you can't afford to walk.
Oh, no, but the workers have got a lot of power in a situation like that in Europe, because you can't hire a replacement fast enough. If you give your notice because of the crunch, you can't be made to work crunch. You only have to work what's in your contract.
Yeah. Anyway, so that was pretty much the only story that I had really worth talking to you guys about.
Yeah. I'd really like to know more about that because some more of the details because I think that there's
Well, it's on it's the site that has the big game is Bloomberg.
maybe it's just genuinely it's just a point of view that's a real workers' rights thing. So I'd like to know more about how CD Projekt Red were able to do that and what the workers could have done in response so that we can try and do something about it because it's a European company, so it's most likely one of the ones that you'd most easily be able to
Do something about.
yeah, whereas the rest are American or maybe Canadian or Japanese or
Scottish.
well yeah, outside of the EU where it's harder to do things.
Should we move on to the game?
Yes. Now we didn't play the game last time
No.
because we were having to be rapide.
Well, we tried to be rapid and then it took 45 something minutes to record.
Yeah. So what we're gonna do it now. So what's the score?
5-3. I relinquished the point to you. That was the word I was thinking of.
I was thinking you were going for bestow.
No, relinquished.
Relinquish. Okay.
So it's 5-3 to me.
So I was right then. It was an R word we were looking for.
Yes.
Right. 5-3 to you. Okay.
Yes.
Right.
As you know all.
Here we go. Are you ready? So as
Wait a
per
minute.
normal.
Wait. Now I'm ready.
Okay. So as per normal, I will read it out and then you're free to read it as you desire. Okay?
Okie dokie.
There's no real words that give it away, so I've not had to blank anything. So don't read anything into. I wouldn't read too much into any particular word because if I've not had to blank it,
Okay.
Right. So the rules
Okay.
are 5 minutes, and you get to talk about it as much as you want, but you get one guess.
Accepted.
Here we go.
Help. My cable's trapped around my arm. No. Okay, I'm better. No joke. No joke. My cable from my headphones.
It wasn't wrapped around your arm.
It was wrapped around my arm.
On your elbow.
No, it was. It was like.
All you had to do was lower your arm, and you panicked.
It was wrapped around my arm.
It was going to choke you as well, wasn't it, Hen? Right. Here we go. Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay.
Begin.
New technology and global conflict will bring you back to a great war that has changed the face of war forever. Participate in all battles, control all huge vehicles, and perform all operations that turn the whole battle around. The whole world is at a war sea. What's on the other side of the trench? 5 minutes. You have 5 minutes.
Can I read it now?
As I said, don't pay attention to too many of the obvious words because I'd have blanked them out if there was a problem.
Is it Gears of War? This makes me think it's Gears of War. I can't see Tommy's face, so I've got no idea if I'm close or not.
I'm only going to join in if you ask a question on the points of order, or if you give me your final guess.
Am I allowed to ask if it's a series or not?
It is.
I'm going to guess it's Gears of War.
You have a full 4 minutes and 15 seconds left.
Well, I know Gears of War is a war.
Mm-hmm.
And there's Gears. I've never played the game, but I know you have talked about it. You made me download all the Gears of War games.
It was to see how many people could take part in co-op for each of the different games.
Yeah.
And we found that It's different for each game. I think it's Gears 3 lets you have more than two.
Well, I'm trying to think of new technologies because new technologies. When I think of new technologies, I think of something like Halo, but Halo isn't about a battle. It's changing the war forever. I don't think it is.
Okay.
I was making a face, but he wasn't looking at the phone. I can't think of any, like, the Division takes place, but it's not a war, it's a siege or something like this. It's not Rainbow. So I suppose that is new technologies, but
In fairness,
it's not a
Halo
war.
would kind of fit it a bit. Can you hear me from back here?
Yes, I can.
Right. Well, Halo would kind of fit it a bit because it is new technology, and it's a war that changes the face of war forever because of that new technology. But it says global conflict. Although remember, I'll just remind the people at home, right? All one of them. What I do is I take the blurb off the back of the box, the blurb off the back of the box, and I put it into Google Translate. In this case, it was English into Japanese, and then I copied the Japanese into a new window tab for Google Translate and translated that from the Japanese into back into the English. It's basically to see what errors crop up, see if it becomes humorous, which this one hasn't, or confusing, which this one has, and then we can see if Abigail
I'm
can.
listening.
We can see if Abigail, if she ever stops playing with her hair, can figure out which game it was from this badly translated blurb.
I think I've gotten it.
The rules of the game at present, because we have had to change them, because she was finding it too easy, is that she now has a 5-minute time limit and she gets one guess instead of however long she wants and as many guesses as she can.
I can't think of what else it could be, because I can't think of any other games about the huge vehicles thing.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's big vehicles in Gears of War. So that makes me think, but Gears makes me think of transmission, makes me think of an engine. If I guess it right, will you tell me then and there I've guessed it right?
You have to make your final guess, but what I'm going to say for your last minute is that I did say don't read too much into any of the individual words, and you've gone gears, engine, transmission, all of which are not actually words in there.
Yes, it's words that I've decided are in there.
And I think you're focusing on the word technology quite a lot there, or vehicles. So you've got 20
Well,
seconds.
global conflict makes me think it's on Earth. Is it on Earth? Is it on a planet?
It's on a planet.
Is it on Earth?
Which one?
There is only one Earth.
No, I mean.
Oh, do I have to
Are you
specify
asking me-
which? Do I have to specify which in the series it is?
Well, you would, yes, but my point is, which Gears game are you asking about? Because I can guarantee you that if you're sure that it is Earth that's in that, it's not a Gears game. Because Gears is not set on Earth.
So is it set on a Earth? Is it set on
Yeah.
Earth as we know it?
What
Well, not
is-
so much as we know it, but like, if I was to say Earth.
Well, Gears is not set on an Earth that you would recognize. That's my point. So I'm asking you, how far into this Earth idea are you talking about?
Like, is it called Planet Earth in the game?
Genuinely, I don't know if they ever refer to it at all. That's why I'm saying I don't know how much they would suddenly say global conflict if they never refer to the planet's name in the game.
Is it a driving game? Participate in battles.
I'm not telling you that it's not Gears. I'm just saying that global conflict would be a weird thing for them to write on the back of the box if they never ever actually talk about the nature of the globe that they're fighting on, to the point where I don't think they've ever said that it's Earth. That's what I'm trying to get across to you, is that it could still be Gears, but you're focusing on singular words.
I'm gonna guess Gears. I can't think of what else it could be.
Okay, which one? There's Gears 1, Gears 2, Gears 3, Gears Judgment, Gears 4, Gears 5. Gears Tactics. Say it.
One.
I can't hear you.
I don't know.
Come on. Come on.
1. Gears 1.
Is that your final official guess?
Yeah, because the only other one I can think of, it might be Gears 5.
Okay.
Or 3. Or 2. Or 4. Or Judgment.
Right, okay. I can tell you that it's none of them.
It's not a Gears game.
No. I'll give you... It's game over. I've won that point, but I will now help you work out what it is, because that's what teachers do.
Is it Halo?
No.
Have I heard of this game?
You've played it.
Is it The Division?
Nope.
Played this game.
Mm-hmm.
It can't be Star Trek Online, because we've already done Star Trek Online.
It's not that.
I don't like how close the points our system's getting.
New technology and global conflict will bring you back to a great war that has changed the face of war forever. Participate in all battles, control all huge vehicles, and perform all operations that turn the whole battle around. See that middle sentence? What does it actually tell you?
You need to take part in battles.
Right, so there's battles going on, which we already knew because it's a war game.
Battlefield 1.
Yep. The only two relevant sentences are the first one and the third one. The second one doesn't tell you anything. New technology and global conflict will bring you back to a great war that changed war forever. The whole world is at war. See what's on the other side of the trench.
That was good. That was good. Well done.
Yeah. And it was even able to obfuscate by saying the whole world is at war, see, rather than war. See what's on the other side, because
I asked if it was on Earth, and you said I asked if this game was set on Earth, and you refused to answer.
I can't tell you about this game. I can only talk to you about specific examples you talk about. I can't, because that's me giving you a clue.
That's not fair. I asked if this game is set on Earth.
I didn't. No. I can't tell you that, because that's me telling you. But if you're convinced that it's set on Earth, then it would be weird for it to be Gears, because they never even talk about it. That was me actually trying to help you. But you still said Gears. When I said don't focus on one particular word or term, it's because if you did, you'd get confused. You needed to see the whole picture that it was telling you, because there's nothing in there that gives it away. The word trench is interesting, but all wars have trenches.
It's 5-4.
All wars have trenches.
It's very good.
Hold on. New technology depends on your viewpoint.
That's what I was saying.
New technology for Battlefield 1.
That's what I was saying.
Exactly. Global conflict, well, that could be World War II or Cold War or whatever.
Genuinely, because my thought would not necessarily have gone straight to Battlefield, because I'm so used to like dystopian future type of things, or like futuristic. So well done. Well done.
I was trying to help when I said don't focus on a single particular phrase or word, because you would get bogged down in it. I'll read you out what it actually is.
I'm disappointed in myself.
Nah, you're all right. You'll see why. No, you're all right.
8 minutes.
Spelunky. Right. So this is the actual one, right? Takes you back to the Great War. So you see how that you've got that straight away. Where new technology and worldwide conflict changed the face of warfare forever. Take part in every battle and control every massive vehicle and execute every maneuver that turns an entire fight around. So that's totally irrelevant. You don't need that sentence at all. The whole world is at war. See what's beyond the trenches. You see how that's different? Trenches actually does let you know, because that was trench warfare. other
Yeah.
side of the trench could be considered to be a viewpoint, the
Yeah.
opposite side of a battlefield, or
Yeah.
every war still has trenches, but the trenches is World War One.
Yeah.
The Great War is different from a Great War. So I was
Yeah.
trying to get you to not look at certain phrases because it would guide you away from Battlefield One because they're not in it anymore. The phrases were removed by the translation. You needed to look at at what each sentence told you.
Okay, I get it. I've already congratulated you.
I'm a teacher. What can I say? So it's 5-4, ladies and gentlemen of the jury. If you think I cheated in any way or was particularly unfair, then you can keep it to yourself. Oh, it's glorious to now be. Hey, I'm not. Detention.
Nah.
Okay, so now that you're upset that you lost,
I am upset that I lost because I'm disappointed in myself.
But I didn't cheat.
You could have told me it was set on Earth.
I can't tell you anything. I was trying to get you to understand that you shouldn't be looking at
Right.
the word global as
Right, I'm going to stop you right there. Don't use your teacher trickery on me. Okay?
God forbid I accidentally help you learn something.
No, that's different. That is different.
Right.
There's trying to help me learn, and there's being a smart arse.
Excuse me, a smart bottom.
Smart something or other. I'm trying to remember that name of that condition where you think you're smarter than you actually are. Kronberg-Durger or something like that.
Kronberg-Durger.
Something like that.
Yeah, I've got Kronberg-Durger's disease.
It's something like that. Hold on, I'm going to look it up.
I think it's Sarah Palin syndrome.
No, that's Trumpism.
It could just be Trumpism. Although I'm a Trumpite.
Dunning-Kruger effect.
Right. Well, I've got Crumb-Thumb-Flum-Thumb syndrome.
Dunning-Kruger effect.
Can we just say goodbye now? Because I'm going to go and get myself tested for Krugerites.
Okay, well, thank you guys so much for listening. If you enjoyed what you heard, you can like the video, you can subscribe to the channel, you can hit that notification bell for when we upload, you can share it with everybody, you can leave a comment down below, anything you'd like us to talk about, or anything you just want to talk about in general with your mates, you can. You can email us at overshadow.shadowcast@gmail.com, and you can find us on Facebook at overshadow.shadowcast. And that's all for me to say is goodbye.
Do you know what we're going to do next week, I think?
What?
Game of the year, because we've not done that yet.
Our personal games of the year.
Yeah. Give us a proper
January.
week to think about it. Game of the year. Have you played this new what was it called? Isolation. Yeah, it's a
Oh my.
I can't even think of any of the words.
There will be somebody out there making a game about
simulation
COVID-19.
game where you just stay in your house all day.
It'll be like to keep like your rage level down or your anxiety level down. Games like that. Like has like a monitor. Like you have to keep it below like 50% or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
That's how somebody can make a game out of it.
Yeah, but the Germans will get round to it. They make all the simulation games.
So, farewell. Thank you for listening.
Yeah.
And it's 5-4 to me, still.
Yes, it is. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.